the vision, the creation, the journey. This is Beyond the Page, a series of intimate conversations with creators of children's content, navigating their personal lives while reaching youth and families through arts and literacy. Let's go beyond the page with your host, Keisha Nelson.
Hey y'all, it's Keisha Nelson here with WHUT, and I'm so excited for our next guest, and I hope you will be too once you hear this information I'm getting ready to share with you. Miss Michelle Harvey is today's guest. She is a mom, an author, and founder of Financial Letteracy. Y'all get it right. It's not letter, it's Letteracy. It's a company that's making financial literacy second nature for the next generation. Parents, come in the room. Y'all gather. Why? Because Michelle is the creator of ABCs of Finance by Financial Literacy, an animated series that brings big money lessons to life for young learners through vibrant characters, hip hop, style, music, and story-driven adventures. Y'all, she's also the author of ABCs of Finance, a coloring series, and a children's book, A is for Asset. All of these materials are designed to help kids build confidence, grounded relationships with money before limiting beliefs ever even take root. Listen, Michelle has over 2 decades of nonprofit leadership experience, and she decided to make a bold pivot from executive to creator, channeling her operational expertise and deep passion for financial education into tools that are reshaping how families talk about money. You want to know about her work? Well, it blends joy, clarity, and cultural relevance and proves that the most powerful money lessons can start right at the kitchen table with crayons and conversation. Y'all, welcome Miss Michelle Harvey. Money, 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 money. I was like, that's what we could just have in the background because we're about to get into it.
Yes, thank you for having me, Keisha. I'm so excited.
Well, we're happy to have you today to get into this conversation.
Yes.
Which I'll be honest, my voice may tremble, and it's not because I'm nervous to talk to you, but finances is a big conversation.
It is.
It's a doozy sometimes.
Yes, so that's what we're trying to avoid.
You're right.
The whole purpose is to introduce money before shame ever takes place, before lack or limiting beliefs ever happen, before any sort of emotion around it at all. One of my goals is that kids have a positive relationship with money and entrepreneurship before any negative beliefs ever take place.
And I love that. Let me tell you seriously, I feel like that is so critical because the way the heart palpitations, we're palpitating. Anytime, we think about it, and it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be that it's because your own finances are in shambles, but how we're introduced to the idea of finances and financial literacy, there's a lot of weight behind it.
You know how most of us are introduced to finances?
How?
Can I go to McDonald's? And what does your mom say?
No, we ain't got no McDonald's money.
You got McDonald's money? Exactly. Or here's another one.
Yeah.
When we get into this store, don't
ask for nothing, don't touch nothing, don't look at nothing, don't ask me for nothing.
Exactly.
You want to know how I know? Because that's what I be telling my kids. Don't even walk in like this.
But you told your kids that because you were told that. Imagine if you were told something else. Imagine if whatever you want, put it in the cart. Not because I have an infinite amount of money, but because I have planned for you to come to the store with me. It is in the budget for you to get the cereal you like. Imagine how you would then look at a budget. You wouldn't have weaponized the budget. You wouldn't be bludgeoned over the head with it, so to speak. You would see the budget as a tool and as something that you can plan for all the things that you want.
That is really good. I literally am like, ooh, okay, all right. So now I got a budget for the expensive cereal and make sure that the kids can come in with the expectation that I've already done what I needed to do. So you can ask sometimes.
No judgment, but I look at it as my job. Like, it's not my daughter's fault that I don't have it.
You're right.
And no judgment, but I think it's important to me to plan for it.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's really good. Have you always had that sort of like perspective, or who kind of planted that seed in your life for you to feel like you could be financially free?
So I got the same money lessons that you got.
Okay.
We don't have McDonald's money,
Okay.
and don't look at nothing, don't ask for nothing, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But as I grew up and I experienced life, so I was well taken care of. I come from a military family.
Okay.
So I was well provided for, and there wasn't a lot of extra. It wasn't a lot of space to get what I wanted. So at a very early age, I decided I was going to have my own money.
Yeah.
So started working at 15.
Wow.
And since 15, I have never not had more than one job.
I love it.
So always 2 jobs, 3 jobs, sometimes a side hustle on top of that. Like, it just was very important to me to be able to buy the clothes that I wanted or to have McDonald's money, so to speak. So I remember we were sitting at dinner once, and I was in the 12th grade, and I asked my parents for my college fund. And they were basically like, college fund, girl, you eating it. And I was just like, okay, thank you for dinner. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have money to go to college. And unbeknownst to both of my parents, my uncle, when I was born, purchased a treasury bond and just put it away. He didn't tell them. He didn't tell us. He didn't say anything about it. When I graduated high school, that was my graduation gift. Wow. And that was the springboard for me to be able to afford college, because by the time he gave it to me, it had appreciated, earned interest. So that, first of all, act of somebody who wasn't financially vested in my life impacted me. My grandfather, which is my dad's dad, we just would get checks in the mail, the 3 of us. I have a brother and a sister. So the 3 of us, every so often, would get a check in the mail that was just for us. Wow. So his planning and his foresight to save and then distribute also had a positive impact on me. So when I had my own daughter, I knew I wanted to go in those same footsteps. When I had a niece, I wanted to be the person that my uncle was for me, to set her up financially the way that he did. And it was all what's in everybody's means. So it's not like I grew up with a silver spoon, and it's not like they had it, but they had an intention.
Absolutely.
And they planned. And so a lot of times I like to talk to rich aunties or cool uncles who don't necessarily have children of their own, because you also have a role to play in the next generation.
You know, and to that point, I feel like we don't say it takes a village to raise a child for no reason, right? Like, as parents, we have a really big responsibility to make sure that our kids are well fed, that they have clothes, that those basic needs. Sometimes in your family, it could be that is the thing. Like, I got you.
And that's our job, right?
You know, that's our job. But shout out to the tribe, right? Shout out to our village, those aunties and uncles who had a little bit extra, and your grandfather who had a little bit extra to be able to do the overflow of whatever it was that you needed at the time, being college, which is amazing.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your trajectory from there. So that kind of got you seeing like, okay, like I need to have multiple jobs, I need to have money. How did the idea of spending your money responsibly, or, you know, viewing your money as an A for asset, like how did that come?
Mentorship. Okay. So I didn't automatically know. I met a gentleman who was financially independent, and he agreed to mentor me. And so over the course of that relationship, which still exists today, he introduced the idea to me that I did not have to get my hair done every week. Mind blown. Yes. He also made the radical suggestion that every time you do a new event, you don't need a new outfit. And I was just like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, like new place to go means new clothes. Exactly. He said, no, it does not. Oh gosh. So different ideas just kind of help you open you up to money and being responsible. So after I had a child, that's when the urgency came. Yeah. Because then I was like, okay, I have somewhere to apply all of these principles that I'm learning.
Well, listen, so you mentioned that you have a daughter, and pouring into her from, you know, at her young age is a value for you. What does it feel like on this side of being financially responsible, having the tools for yourself as an adult? Because let's just be honest. Okay. When it comes to the finances, that's not always something that's a kid's business, right? Or that we have not always been reared to believe, I'll say it that way, that finances are a child's business. That is like grown folk conversation. You need to mind your business, stay in a child's place. You need to worry about things. But when I'm like looking at your content, I'm seeing A is for asset. I'm seeing D is for dividends. I'm seeing O is for overdraft, y'all. That's a choice.
Overdrafting?
Bold. Well, overdrafting is a choice, I guess. But in terms of, the literacy aspect, building our child's literacy foundation, financial literacy foundation, utilizing some of these terms that, were traditionally looked at as being only for adults to worry themselves about.
That's true.
What I mean?
Yep. If you think about money as a language, a lot of us don't have it. So we walk into these rooms, or even if you turn on the certain news channels and you see the stock tickers going across, or you hear the conversation, you're like, I don't understand what in the world these people are talking about.
Yeah.
So if you look at finances like a language, the earlier we introduce language, the more likely it is to change the trajectory of the child's life. So if you look at it as finance as a language, introducing it early will open them up to opportunities just as being bilingual would.
Yeah.
It will open their worldview just as being bilingual would.
Absolutely.
Like, so the point is to introduce it early so it's not scary and it's no shame or negative feelings around it. A lot of us clinch up, like you were talking about money earlier, because we don't think we have it right. We don't think we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. We don't think we're far enough in our finances for our age or for whatever our standard is. We don't think we have it right. But if you look at it as a journey, say there's nothing to get right. Say none of the finances are right, the finance gurus, say none of them are right, and say all of them are right. Then what would you do with the shame and the this and the that? You don't have to have that. So when we introduce it early, before any of that exists, then that makes the journey easier. And so the way that I chose to do that was I went to a seminar. I knew I wanted this information to be passed on to my daughter, but I didn't necessarily have a framework yet. So I went to a seminar, and the speaker talked about how he taught his daughter the alphabet. Instead of using A is for apple, he used A is for asset, and B is for bank, and C is for credit, and so on. After he said that, I don't know what else he was talking about. Because I was like, that is brilliant. It's so simple. And so that is how I chose to do it. I put it in a coloring book. She was 2 or 3 at the time. So I wanted it to be simple. I wanted the graphics to be simple. I heard that talk, and a week later, I had self-published my first coloring book.
Wow.
Just because it was so simple to understand. So it was simple to execute. I used a program that I have on my computer, and I just uploaded it to the book place, and that was that. So I knew it was on.
What, in your mind, I'm just thinking, in your mind, what did you think? Did you think that this is going to be for a larger audience, or did you think this is a way that I'm going to teach my daughter about money and sense?
I was just thinking about myself.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about my child.
No, but I think that that's pivotal, right? I think that's really important to kind of consider, is that, like, as parents, sometimes we feel like we need to create, or we feel inspired to create because we're keeping our babies in mind, and then happenstance happens and it ends up working for other families too. I don't think that that's something to look over. I think that that's an amazing kind of springboard into what happened next.
Yes. So I put it on a website, a very popular website. And as it turns out, it was a tool for other families.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. So the coloring book, she was young. So I just want to make the point real quick that she was a baby. She was a toddler.
Yeah.
So my intention wasn't that she know exactly what an asset is and how appreciation works, or interest or compound interest. That wasn't my intention. My intention was to introduce the language. And so my goal was for her to just color all over the pages and let that be that. So it was no hardcore teaching going on. I just wanted her subconscious to start picking up the vocabulary. And then when she got a little bit older, I was able to, maybe I'll point at my phone and say, this can be an asset or it could be a liability. It just depends on how you use it, right? So then as she's older, I'm able to introduce the concepts that she already knows the words to. I'm able to introduce the context. I'll give you one more quick example. We were at the farmer's market the other day, and I needed some cash. So we went to the ATM machine, and I said, we're going to the ATM machine because I need some cash. I can only get out the amount that I put in.
Right.
So mommy goes to work and we create coloring books and books for kids so that there's money in the bank account so that I could pull it out. If you pull out more than what you have in there, that's called an overdraft.
Right.
So we had a quick little mini lesson right in real time, right at the ATM machine. And I think it's just about having the presence of mind to have to see the lessons and pick them up. That doesn't mean that I have a 850 credit score, although, I mean, it's not far.
Oh,
and
love that for
but
you.
It doesn't mean that I have it all together.
Yeah.
It just means that I'm able to pick up micro lessons, and even a lesson like an overdraft can be communicated to the child. Well, so you were talking about earlier how it's grown folks' business, but it affects her when she goes into the grocery store and says, "Mommy, can I have this?" My grown folks' business affects her.
Absolutely.
And it just gives her language to move around the world when it's not a fearful thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be afraid of money. She doesn't have to worship it either.
Of course.
It can just be a tool.
Well, and I love that point, and I think that that's something that parents should probably know that might give them a little bit more ease. At least it helps me to relax a little bit that we're not saying, and I would imagine it's like with other lessons that we teach our kids in general, is money doesn't have to be the big scary thing in the room. It can be, no matter where you are, we're developing a healthy relationship, and we're starting that healthy relationship at home. You're learning it from me, not from an accident that you had, or, you know, overspending, or, you know, some kind of random bill you're getting in the mail. But we can have these conversations, and just like other things, we're breaking it into micro lessons where you can see how it impacts our everyday life.
Right.
I love that. Now, that quickly, we are getting ready to wrap, and I can't wait to hear a little bit of your book. But before we do that, I just wanted to ask you, because if we watch the ABCs of finance, baby, they got bars, you got the tracks, the beat is rocking. And we're up here, I'm with my kids, and we're listening to A is for Asset, and we're getting into it and learning at the same time. What was your intention around ensuring that, because I love when content creators add music to lessons that can be big and sometimes difficult. What was your intention behind ensuring that the music was catchy, you know, that people could be able to recite back the lyrics, and that it would be entertaining and fun?
That it was my intention that it could be entertaining and fun, and people could grasp the concepts in a non-shameful way, in a fun way that's easy to get. I think the characters, so we made each alphabet letter into a character, and each character has their own song, and so each financial concept that could be difficult, the music rhymes, is catchy, is simple. And so my intention was just to make a normally difficult, hard to understand topic super basic, super shame-free. Anybody can get it, and it's fun.
I love that. So before you leave, I always like to end on a gem. So I want you to think about your parents at home when you think about leaving a legacy for your daughter. What is one financial tool that you want her to grab right now at her young age that you think parents should consider about leaving their legacy?
One thing I want my daughter to know is that money is something she can create. She doesn't have to be scared of it. She can use what's in her mind, use what's in her heart, and turn that into something that can feed her. So she can create money at will. Yes, it takes some skill. Yes, she'll have to learn. It's not magic. But it's also all right. Money is something that you can create. You don't have to be scared of it. You don't have to spend your life worshiping it or fearing it or anything like that. You can have it. Money is for you to have. I want parents to know that for themselves, and I want their kids to know that money is something that is for you. You can have it. You don't have to watch everybody else live the lives that they want to and envy them or whatever. You can have it. You just need some tools. And so hopefully our tools are simple enough that people can grasp that. But money is not for everybody else. It's for you too, and you can create it.
That is important.
Yeah.
That is important. I know you've helped me in this short time to make sure that I am, you know, getting my financial literacy for myself and for my 3 children at home to make sure that everybody is financially literate or literate. So, Michelle, listen, thank you. I can't wait to dig into this book. Y'all, that was Miss Michelle Harvey, telling us all about the ABCs of finance. And so, yes, we are ending on our money, 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 money song, but we have a little less fear. Our shoulders can be relaxed, unclench your jaws, let it go, let it flow, and make this money, y'all. All right now, see you later.
A is for Asset, Adventures in Financial Literacy by Michelle Harvey. In a town called Financial Letteracy, where dreams come true, lived two young pals with a curious view. McKenna and Jonah, both aged 4, ready for adventures with wonders in store. They met some talking letters that day, wise friends with much to say. A is for Asset, the letter A did chime, valuable treasure that grows with time. B is for Business, B sang with delight, buying and selling from morning to night. C is for Credit, C whispered with care, borrowing wisely, they were aware. D is for Dividend, D chimed in an upbeat voice, like a gift from a company, a wonderful choice. E is for Equity, E sang out clear, owning a part of something dear. F is for Freedom, F shouted loud, financial security will make you proud. G is for Goal, G said with a grin, something you aim for, hoping to win. H is for Home-based Business, H giggled and laughed, your kitchen table can be a wonderful office to have. I is for Interest, the letter I said in a hushed voice, whether you earn it or pay it is your choice. J is for Job, J said with glee, trading time for money for you and me. K is for Kaizen, K said on a spree, getting better each day, as happy as can be. L is for Liability, L cautioned with care, debts are meant to be paid, so please be aware. M is for Market, M exclaimed with flair, where parts of companies are traded everywhere. N is for Negotiate, N whispered low. Finding solutions together is how we all grow. O is for Overdraft, O said with a sigh. Spending too much will cause money to zip by. P is for Profit, P sang with cheer. Money made after costs, nice and clear. Q is for Quota, Q explained with a smile. It's a goal for sales, mile after mile. R is for Risk, R said with care. Taking chances can be wise, if you dare. S is for Shares, S exclaimed with joy. Ownership in companies, oh boy. T is for Tax, T said with care. Payments to the government, a duty we happily share. U is for Upside, U shared with delight. Potential growth helps us shine bright. V is for Value, V chanted with glee. It's what something is worth to you and to me. W is for Wealth, W whispered near. Abundance and riches are nothing to fear. X is for Exchange Traded Funds, X proclaimed with might. A diversified basket, a beautiful sight. Y is for Yield, Y spoke with cheer. Money earned from savings year after year. Z is for Zero-based Budget, Z concluded with grace. Every dollar planned for its special place. With important lessons learned, McKenna and Jonah did play in the land of financial literacy, where they had a really fun day.